What's up, guys? This is actually a big thing going on in the market right now. The first thing actually I want to look at is the DXY. This is something that we talked about a long time ago for our confirmation of a potential turn in the market. This could be a little bit too front-runned, we'll see, but it's very tough to see. But look at the rising channel that DXY put in here. And when we back tested it and we started to drop, this was around the time when SPY had its first break off of the low. Now, this was a monster channel. Then we had a falling downtrend channel, but it broke out from, it started rolling, and it did potentially, well, it made a higher low here. So then it started a new channel trend up to the upside, and it fell from it, it came back, and currently it is back testing it. Now, it does look a little bit like a flag, but if this does end up turning out to be a proper rejection, then the DXY could be trying to fail and fall back to below this 401 would be the first thing, 104.1, and the second would be the drop below 103.5. Now, this could be a little bit early, as it still could be rolling up here and creating something bullish that ends up turning into a giant double bottom. We have to be cautious on that. But the NASDAQ is the first thing I want to look at here as, let me just make sure, okay, as it is having a huge breakout. Now, the thing is it's getting so much momentum here, which makes me a little bit more concerned for now, because it's going to potentially come up and retest this previous high of 12,469. And then if that does happen, it could get a monster rejection. Now, what we need to see is a pullback eventually to retest this potential previous resistance, which is around 12,300 to about 12,332. But we are getting like a nice MACD cross on the hourly, and we potentially put in a double bottom off the 11.8. So this could actually bring us up. Now, we have monster key downtrending resistance up at 12,678, which is where we could be heading here. You can see the multiple tests. That could be what's going on here. But the overall thing that looks bullish to me on this is that we had this double bottom. And where was the resistance on this double bottom neckline was 11,842. And currently, we just had a downtrending channel that bounced off the neckline here. So this is actually very freaking bullish looking. But we still have this downtrending resistance right here from this wick high, this wick high. Do we need to put in another high, come down, hit this 11.9 again, and then maybe we end up double bottoming at this point here, and then we pull up, which could still give it a few more months. But for a nice day trade, this could potentially be setting up here. I mean, you still have to see a daily body close above, so we can't get too excited yet. You can see the last daily body here. We wicked all the way to 12,460, and then we came back and closed below. So overall, though, look at the daily. The MACD is curling up, looking ready to cross, putting in a nice buy signal. This could set us up for a couple of weeks of some bullish price action. And then SPY, looking at SPY here, although it's getting a little rejection here, we have this, well, this is kind of a downtrending resistance, which we're kind of hitting right now. So this is like a falling wedge. It's kind of ugly, I know, but it will make more sense on the lower time frames. So on the lower time frames, it's starting to put in an hourly double bottom here. We still have a neckline up at that 393.40-ish area here. We hit it here, we hit it there, and now are we coming back up to hit it again? Do we reject? Do we eventually build some kind of ascending triangle using that previous support as new resistance, and then maybe we can pop back up? That's still to be seen. It's been weaker than most. But the first key thing that I wanted to see, which we did get, was, and look, I didn't even change these trends, and we're already hitting it. Well, I did just change it, actually, off of those wicks. I lied. I forgot I just changed it. But either way, this downtrending resistance could be pretty big right here, which is pretty much where we're at right now of that falling wedge I was just drawing out. I know I just moved it. So, yeah, I guess I did move it. I forgot I did. Either way. But needless to say, that's where we're getting our first rejection. Now, the channel that we were just in here previously, look at this. We had, well, the overall support of that falling wedge. You can see a touch point, touch point, touch point. This was the wick, bought back up, double bottom. So before we get too bullish on SPY here, because this would be nice if we were putting in potentially, right, a low and then a higher low. Now, this could all make sense with the Feds potentially pivoting and stuff, so this could help us out. But we still have to be very cautious. This could just be a big fake out in the whole market. But for now, this was a pretty good thing. Now, last time we came up here, we couldn't close a body above the 390.70. If we do that again, it's still possible that this thing has to come back down and retest some of those areas. But the key area for me, was we kept on coming up here multiple times and touching 389.40. Boom, boom, boom. And then at the same time, we were holding support on this previous potential symmetrical triangle or fall, whatever, bear flag, whatever you want to call it. We held it as support and we rallied up. So right now it's trying to break this downtrending resistance. This is going to be key. So this could be a good little shorts position, but I'm not too sure. I think if the market can remain strong here, we might be able to push through it and hold this as support. Back test this as resistance, get a rejection, have the shorts come in, and then hold this 391 previous body, which is right here, 391.09 as support. And if we fall lower, we have to retest this 389. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. This will be an area for the shorts to probably come in and then dump us back down, retest, maybe reclaim this, and then we get a break. That would be absolutely beautiful if that does happen. I don't know how it's going to play out. If it ends up going lower, obviously we have this 387 area as support still, but that'll look a lot more ugly. But it could, I'd like to see this at least come up to here and reject, because then we could build a potential ascending triangle here, and that would be a bullish pattern, which would still mean we still have a few months to go before. If we reject where we are now and then we can't get through it at all and come back up there, then, we might have to rethink it, because we'll be making a lower high here. So this is huge. NVDA, this is something I was talking about in my last video on NVDA. I was talking about the potential of us coming up here to my target of, I had 247.63 at the time. Now that we're over here, we have a little bit higher target here, but currently on the 1 minute, we have a rising wedge or channel. So we are getting resistance here at this 247, and the possibility of us coming to 248.70 is still in play, but you can see on the 5 minute, this is an area shorters are going to come in. They don't want to close it above 247. Do we get a rejection? Now, if we get a rejection here and we can't bounce off of this, or we fail it, we back test it, we have two key areas of support. The first area of support is 244.73. I don't think that's as important. That's just a wick that we came up to last time and we tapped it, and then we literally rejected really hard on our face, which could show some key area. Actually, it's not 73s. It's 50. 244.50. So maybe, or 44. Maybe that holds it as support. I don't know. Maybe the candle body here, which is right here at 243.86. This could be an area of support, but the main area right there is 242.30-ish. So if we get a big rejection here and we come back down, this could still need to potentially be held as support here. I don't know how this is going to play out, but if we can continue up here and tap this, that would confirm my original idea that I had here of this overall, which isn't that bullish of a pattern here, but it could still take some time, which would align with everything I'm talking about, whether this just does something like that. And then, I don't know how it's going to play out, guys. But either way, this is the rising wedge here that I'm looking at. And then the bigger line above here is the area that I was talking about on the daily time frame, which is drawn perfectly off of that support. Support, all this shit. Uptrending support here, something like that. Or you could do even clearer, be like this. I don't know, something of that nature, which could give us even higher target, of course, because it's rising. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not getting too much into that yet, because I think this is a rising wedge. So maybe this is just all kind of just coming to fruition to potentially crash still. I don't know. That's not the most bullish looking thing in my opinion. So maybe that's going to give us a little bit more insight, but I'm just looking for today. So anyway, I did go long this market today, and whether or not it turns out to be the right idea or not, that I don't know. So Tesla, this is coming in here, getting monstrous resistance on 182.38. You can see we already wicked up here, so I might have already missed my sell because I'm making this video. I have this downtrending line somewhat in here, which is based off of from this wick to that wick. So maybe we can come a little higher if the market gets a little more bullish here.
after a back test or so. This could come up to about 183.12 to the high of the 183.84, but it also could end up turning into a big double top. So on a bearish look, maybe this ends up turning into a double top. And, you know, who knows how it plays out later if it comes back down to the 76s. But right now I'm kind of looking at it as a potential of a bull flag here. And I'm still looking for like the 188.85 area. If this was a bull flag, I don't know if it's going to be enough momentum. We could push all the way to 199s. I mean, there's a lot on the cards right here for what could happen. But right now, the key thing, I know there's a lot of shit on this chart and it's a little bit confusing, and my apologies. I was watching this uptrending channel right here and we were just bouncing over and over at the 178.89. So I took my trade here. We launched up to 182.38. That's usually where I would have put my short in, but I'm like, man, we tested it here last time. We failed. We rejected off of it. We failed. We came all the way back down. Now it's like we bounced here so nicely. Are we coming back up? And this 176.45, the reason that I'm looking at it as a more bullish thing is that we had this area here of a potential, whether it's an inverse head and shoulders or not. This is like the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. Maybe we hit the target off of this inverse head and shoulders because the target's like the neckline. But needless to say, where were the bodies closing previously? Right here at 176.45. We couldn't close above it, pretty much right around there. And then what did we do when we broke up? We even had all this momentum to the upside and went to the 83s. We came back down with a lot of force, but we still managed to hold it. So that's what I'm looking at for a bullish look, even though most likely in the bearish view, this can still turn into a head, a double top. So we have to be very careful with that. But I am long on Tesla right now, and I don't know if it's going to screw me or not, but I'm long down here at the 78.89s, and I'm trying to hold on to it. I'm looking at this like rising this rising support a little bit, but for the support, I don't really have it in that good, but 179.50, but I want to see 180.84 continue to hold as support. And as of right now, you can see we put in this double bottom here where I was going long, right here, I went long. Wait, no, that was this morning that I went long, so it wasn't even over here. So maybe we didn't come up that high. I went long in this right here where we were starting to, we came up here this morning, I think. Maybe this was today. Let's see, Thursday. Okay, so yeah, we came up here and then we rejected. So I was going to put in a short here and I was like, I don't know. I think the market might be bullish. I was watching this 84, but we failed it. And I'm like, shit, this kind of looks bad. But we still had this flat support. We had this uptrending support. So I ended up watching it here. We bounced, put my line here, and then we came up. We rejected off it again, but we put in a higher low. We maintained the support. MBDA was ripping, and this thing came up now, and we came back down. Now we're back testing the 80.84 as potential support. So I don't know how it's going to play out. This will be something to watch, potentially to put in a double bottom off of it. If we do lose it, we have the same uptrending support down here at roughly 180 to 180.33. And what we need to see for a real breakout here, and Tesla's a little more confusing because we have a lot of things to look at. We have this resistance of 182.38 that needs to hold as support. And then once it holds as support, the problem for Tesla is, well, that could look really good here because it's like we tried to pop up. We got resistance at the 184. We couldn't hold this as support. We fail. We come back down. We hold this as support. We fail off of that. So you can see these this huge channel from 184 to 180.84 really, that we couldn't hold any support in. So if Tesla can continue to bounce in between these ranges here and maybe eventually flip something in here into new support, that would be your breakout zone. So if you're not if you're confused about Tesla and you're like, I don't want to go long on it because I think it's going to go down to $50 or something like that, then you might want to wait for this to happen and some confirmation above the 184 for a real long. But remember, I'm like day trading a lot of this shit. So, right now, as we're putting in this potential top right here, 182s, maybe it can't close above it. Maybe it comes up here and it just continues to reject off of this, makes a double top, and then it fails, and then the rest of the market fails, and all this video that I just made is me getting hyped up for nothing. That's possible as well. So be cautious, be careful, use stop losses, but that's what I'm looking at right now. I don't know what SPY's doing because we've been talking here. I got to let you guys go because I got to get back to work. 392, like we're already pushing. So this is heading up, but it's breaking that resistance right here, what we were just talking about. This ripping up here, 393.40. That's going to be a monster level. So I don't know if it's going to be shorts anymore or not. That'll be for you guys to figure out, or for all of us to figure out, and watch the resistance come in kind of like this. Can we not close candle bodies above? Do we end up rolling? Do we back test off this line, come back up and break it? You know, there's so many different things that could happen here. But as of right now, I'm kind of watching this trend line. It's kind of like take it with a grain of salt here because, you know, it's still technically trying to reject under it. So is this still going to be a short? Does it just backtest this previous area right here? I mean, there's so many things that can happen. That's why it's like confusing sometimes, but I'm just watching it right now, hoping that it holds above this trend line or backtests this 9160-ish area as support, or down to the 91s even. Can it hold the 91 as support? Like, you know, there's a lot of things that could still happen. So we have to be very careful as everything's going down here. Let's check NVDA again real quick. 247. Now we broke the 247. So, wow, I have a lot of stuff drawn in here. But, you know, this was what I was looking at as the rising wedge. We're coming up here. We're getting close. So I'm going to get this video out here because if we want to take a trade, the 248.61 short could be absolutely monster if it doesn't just break through, hold it as support, then, but, you know, we also just have like this rising wedge here. So, rising thing. So, I don't know. All right, guys. Well, that's where I'm at. If you want to think about a short on NVIDIA and you're really bearish on it, that could be your entry, but you have to look for that confirmation. And then watch some of the previous candle bodies areas. The 47 was pretty challenging to get through on a smaller time frame, which could be where buyers end up stepping in, buying it, getting the bounce off it, continuing this trend, and it just kind of goes until it hits up here in this area. But I don't know how it's going to play out completely. But right now, everything is still looking very nice. I think it's going to be a nice green day, and maybe tomorrow ends up being green. It depends on how this reaction is on the NASDAQ, on the test of the 460-something. Up here, this wick high, 12,468, that's going to be huge. Where do we back test? Do we hold this as support when we do fall? And then same with just everything here, because this could also just turn into a huge double top, you know? So it's like, ugh. But I don't know. I'm staying on the bullish camp for today. I think everything's going to be pushing for most of the day. If we get pullbacks, they could be ones to buy for a day trade today. But it all depends on these levels. So you got to watch all these levels on everything. But anyway, guys, I hope you're all having a great day, and I hope your trades are going well. Remember, Tesla 182.40 area is going to be a big one. We are holding 180.84 as support currently, and it could be just flagging on top of, you know, what this could just be like an ascending triangle of some sort right here, or symmetrical triangle, whatever you want to call it. And then the target up here could just be bringing us up to roughly 184s. But I'm just looking long on everything right now until proven otherwise. And the key area of resistance will be that most likely roughly 184 level. A wick can come up. We can close right back under it. This thing could just continue to reject and then fall and turn into a huge double top and wreck everybody. But, you know, I trade pretty short term. I can usually figure out when that top's happening and when I need to close. But, yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. And good luck with your trades. And don't forget to smash the like button, because this could be an absolute killer of a freaking trade. So be careful out there, but keep in mind, this market doesn't have to crash, guys. It can still come back up and retest some previous levels. And you know how Tesla is. It's a monster. So with that being said, hope you guys have a great one. Peace.